Welcome to Future Dragon Rocket. I am not Ryan Reynolds. So this is going to be my Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 review right away. 9.5 out of 10. This was absolutely great. My only complaint is Adam Warlock, but it was long, but that's kind of expected for the finale of a trilogy, the finale of a franchise. But let's get into it just from start to finish. Overall, amazing. So from what I could tell, the opening Marvel logo was all just Guardians of the Galaxy in the opening Marvel logo. They tend to like do it different for every project nowadays since Phase 4 started in 2021. So as far as I can tell, the opening Marvel logo was strictly just Guardians inside all the letters. Start out, Peter Quill is drunk, and Adam Warlock is coming to nowhere to get Rocket. And the whole movie, man, you just think everyone's going to die throughout the whole movie. So Rocket gets like shot in the chest, and he's got like a kill switch inside of him from the High Evolutionary, and they can't like operate on him because of the kill switch. So the whole premise of the movie is them trying to save Rocket by getting like this code for the kill switch that's built inside of him. But like Groot gets his head ripped off by Adam Warlock, Mantis gets her arm broken by Adam Warlock, Nebula just gets like wasted by Adam Warlock, and then later on like another planet, Drax gets like shot in the chest and shot in the back. The whole time you think everyone's gonna die except for Gamora. She's the only one in the movie that like never gets injured. And then also like towards the end, you think Peter Quill is gonna die. I mean, it looked like he died in space and he got brought back to life by Adam Warlock. And I'd say another thing to look out for any kind of like trigger warning for animal cruelty that may affect you if you're someone that's really sensitive to that type of thing. Because of the like testing that the High Evolutionary does to perfect beings in the galaxy. There's some kind of cringy scenes as far as like animal cruelty goes, I would say. But back to my only complaint. 9.5 out of 10 for this movie. It's not only a great MCU movie, but just all around like funny, great movie. Was Adam Warlock. They wrote him very poorly as just like a baby in a man's body, which I understand he was just like recently born, but like he was recently born to the Sovereign, who are supposed to be like incredibly smart beings. And also like he just doesn't look good. I mean, you could tell that from the trailers like weeks and months ago. He just looks like golden faced Jim Halpert from The Office, Threat Level Midnight. Um, they I think could have made him look much better or a little more comic accurate, so he didn't look just like he was cheaply painted. But he was just a baby the whole movie. They tried to make it funny, but it just wasn't funny. Adam Warlock as a baby, he's supposed to be this like incredible space Jesus in the comics, but that was kind of a wasted intro to Adam Warlock, in my opinion. And I guess one of the biggest questions going into this movie was like, where's Gamora? Like, how did Gamora leave Earth after Endgame? Where'd she go? What is she doing? And she went to the Ravagers, and apparently Nebula knew it the whole time because Nebula called her to hire her for this job to help get the code for the kill switch for Rocket. And so that was a little unexpected, but they didn't really answer how she got off Earth after Endgame. But she left Earth somehow and joined the Ravagers. And every Guardians movie has a great soundtrack. I think Guardians of the Galaxy is known as being the best soundtrack in the whole MCU, and this one may like top the original Guardians soundtrack for the best songs, in my opinion. And probably the one of the best ones was like kind of like the end battle, the end fight, the continuous hallway scene with them all fighting to "No Sleep Till" by Beastie Boys, "No Sleep Till Brooklyn" by Beastie Boys, and that nonstop continuous hallway fight was so awesome. And you see it in the trailer. There's flashbacks like Rocket's origin, and there's flashbacks scattered all throughout the movie to like Rocket's origin story and him being experimented on and perfected by the High Evolutionary. And flashbacks are really hard to get right. They got it right in this movie. Flashbacks are sometimes just, I don't know, boring or needless. Like I didn't like the Janet Van Dyne flashbacks in Quantum Manium at all, but the Rocket flashbacks in Volume 3 of Guardians of the Galaxy, they did very, very well. And I guess another complaint was Counter Earth. You see Counter Earth in the trailer. It's basically like another version of Earth with like animal people, essentially, that the High Evolutionary created. And I don't know, I think they spent too much time there. That part of the movie I felt like lingered a little too much there. It wasn't I know it's like supposed to be kind of funny, but I thought it was like a little like cringy, not too funny, the whole like weird retro Counter Earth thing. And to be honest, like everyone thought it was gonna be like super emotional. Everyone was like, bring tissues, but to be honest, I thought Wakanda Forever was more emotional. I think I probably teared up more during Wakanda Forever than Volume 3, but it was pretty easy too. I mean, with Rocket on the operating table, with Peter Quill being like frozen in space, with Mantis like crying over all of her friends and family. It was pretty emotional, but honestly, Wakanda Forever was more emotional. Peter Quill, Chris Pratt drops the first F bomb in a Marvel movie, and I thought it was a real throwaway, not needed at all. I think they really wasted that because apparently you get one F word in a PG-13 movie, and so they finally did it, and they spoiled it. They talked about this like weeks ago in articles and clips and everything and interviews. So they not only was it wasted and just the throwaway first F word in the MCU, but it was spoiled. I knew it was exactly when it exactly was going to happen. And Groot speaks his first words of English. Instead of "I am Groot," he finally says "I love you guys" in English at the end of the movie. So we get our first F word. We get Groot speaking English for the first time. In the movie, they're disbanded. Peter Quill says he's going back to Earth all by himself to meet up with his grandpa. Mantis says she's going out solo exploring the galaxy on her own. Gamora is going back to the Ravagers, but Rocket, Nebula, Groot, Drax, they're all staying at Nowhere to be guardians and protect Nowhere. And that goes into the mid-credit and post-credit scenes. The mid-credit scene is Rocket with the new team, the new Guardians of the Galaxy, on some other planet defending the locals against like an invasion. And Rocket's new team of Guardians is Rocket, Groot, Adam Warlock, I forget James Gunn's brother, whatever that character's name is, Cosmo the dog, and maybe like one or two other characters. And then the post-credit scene is Peter Quill back on Earth with his grandpa, and they do reference the holiday special with the newspaper. You see Kevin Bacon featured in the newspaper that Peter Quill's grandpa is reading, and I think that's kind of like the last nod or one of the only nods. But you don't see Bucky's arm in this movie at all, which was like another big question. Besides, like, how did Gamora get off Earth after Endgame? Also, how did like Nebula get Bucky's arm to give to Rocket during the holiday special? And you don't see Bucky's arm at all. Nebula and Rocket don't mention it. No one mentions it at all. So, I mean, I think that part of the holiday special is not canon because, I don't know, Bucky's still going to have his arm in Thunderbolts and no one's ever going to talk about it again. So, yeah, people are going to say the holiday special is canon, but the only thing canon is the needless Kevin Bacon in the MCU. Like, him and whatever that like old man white band that was playing the holiday special. So needless. But absolutely amazing. At the end of the post credit scene, Peter Quill as Star-Lord, he gets his message on the screen. The legendary Star-Lord will return. So we know one character is going to return in like maybe Kang Dynasty or Secret Wars, but the other Guardians may not return. It may just be Star-Lord. But overall, amazing movie, hilarious, a lot more funny than Quantum Manium for sure. Not as emotional as Wakanda Forever, but a great MCU movie. Definitely a top 10 MCU movie. I think we're going to have to rewatch it before we decide whether it's a top 5 MCU movie, but there's 32 MCU movies now, so it's getting really crowded to try to say any MCU movies in the top 5, because I mean, that's Infinity War, Civil War, Endgame. That's 3 out of the top 5 right there. I think a lot of people put Ragnarok up there. Some people might put Black Panther, Shang-Chi, Iron Man, some of those up there, but amazing. I can't wait to rewatch it. Go and check it out. I think this is probably the best MCU movie since Endgame, just like they said. Thanks so much for watching Future Dragon Rocket. Subscribe down below. Share on social media. See you next time.